Morning, everybody, and Happy New Year, and welcome to our rookie mistake. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year, and welcome to our first regularly scheduled board meeting this January 13th. If we could all stand for the pledge. Supervisor Toffenelli, would you lead us?
Thank you, Father Liberty. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll start with item 1, Madam Clerk.
Action item, Clerk of the Board of Supervisors, election of the 2026 Chair and Vice Chair of the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. With that, I'll bring it to the board.
I would make a motion to make the current vice chair and Amanda Follendor as vice chair.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes, I guess, 5-0. Did,
Gavel.
sir? Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Throw the gavel.
Still got my name on it.
And
Do we want to discuss seating arrangements during this item or?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's appropriate. If anybody would, has any ideas, I'm comfortable where I'm at. Functionally, sir, thank you. I'll give it back. So
I'm
Is it-
fine switching wherever I need to be.
I'm,
I'm fine where I'm at, unless you want to.
Mr. Hubbard, do you want to move?
No, I like being right by the door.
Well, there's
Safe
one more
place.
seat.
I can scooch down one. No, I'm happy if you're all right with it.
I'm comfortable as long as everyone else is.
Okay.
This is functional for me. So with that, thank you, Martin. You did a phenomenal year last year. There wasn't too many fires started in the boardroom. You let us. I don't have the words right now. It's
Well, thank you. It was an honor.
yeah, no, and a pleasure was mine also. So, and thank you for the rest of the board. And I look forward to working with you all this year on, it's been a great board for years. And hopefully I can maintain the status quo.
I apologize, boards. We do need to ask for public comment on this as well.
Yeah,
All right.
public comment might help.
My name is Christopher Budner, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com. Today, the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors elects its 2026 chair and vice chair. All 5 supervisors are subjects of recently concluded or in progress California Fair Political Practices Commission investigations of alleged campaign finance filing improprieties, having demonstrated an inability to correctly manage their campaign finance filings. How can any of you be trusted to correctly manage the county's finances? On February 3rd, 2025, Martin Hubbard, the outgoing board chair, received a stern warning letter from the FPPC at the conclusion of its investigation begun on July 11, 2023, declaring Hubbard a statements of economic interest non-reporter for having violated the Political Reform Act for substantial irregularities in his campaign filings. On January 8, 2025, Ben Stopper, the incoming 2026 board chair, had an FPPC case open against him as a campaign non-filer to investigate substantive allegations of him having violated the Political Reform Act with irregularities in his campaign filings. Stopper is no stranger to FPPC investigations. On May 10, 2019, he received a stern warning letter from the FPPC for his failure to timely file a campaign statement. Stopper may now anticipate significantly more consequential FPPC measures, including substantial fines, as he was explicitly warned would occur if recidivist violations were confirmed. On December 10, 2024, Gary Toffenelli had an FPPC case open against him as a campaign non-filer to investigate substantive allegations of him having violated the Political Political Reform Act with irregularities in his campaign filings, Tofinelli may anticipate receiving no less than a stern warning letter and potentially significantly more consequential action, including fines. On September 25th, 2024, Autumn Andal had an FPPC case open against her as a campaign non-filer to investigate substantive allegations of her having violated the Political Reform Act with irregularities in campaign finances. Andal may anticipate receiving only a stern warning letter because of her proactive and forthright interactions with the FPPC. On July 16th, 2024, Amanda Follendorf had an FPPC case opened against her as a campaign non-filer to investigate substantive allegations of her having violated the Political Reform Act with irregularities in her campaign filings. Follendorf may soon anticipate receiving no less than a stern warning letter and potentially significantly more consequential action, including fines for substantial violations of the Political Reform Act in her campaign filings if credible allegations of her having failed to account for over $8,000 in union campaign contributions are confirmed. My name is Christopher Butner, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com, a government watchdog and accountability blog. Thank you.
Any other further comments on the election of the board chair? Ms. Crane, this is the board chair comments for this item, and we'll do public comment in a little bit, so. Oh, yes, absolutely, yes. You're more than welcome, Ms. Crane.
Been a while. Welcome. So I just want to say that I think I haven't been here regularly since charming husband passed away, but for 25+ years, I was here every single meeting, read every single board packet, watched everyone with an eagle eye, and learned a lot. Don't remember it all, but I remember when I hear something, if it was right or not. Anyway, I just want to say, Martin, it's refreshing to have a supervisor and a board chair with a sense of compassion and who is not afraid to think outside the box on behalf of his community. And I want to thank you because there are many examples of just that. So we are better off for having you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Any further comment? With that, we'll move on to, I believe, recognitions and acknowledgements.
Staff announcements, sorry, Chair.
I'm sorry?
Staff announcements.
Oh, staff announcements. My apologies. Staff announcements. Ms. Medina.
Elvis. This is Elvis. Welcome, Sheriff Sauber. Thank you, Supervisor Hubbard, for your service this past year. We have Elvis today.
Elvis.
This is Elvis. He's a cutie patootie. Elvis is a neutered boxer dachshund mix and is approximately 3 years old and weighs about 36 pounds. Elvis came to us with a fractured pelvis, most likely from being hit by a car. Yeah, he's a little bit on the smaller side than the other dogs that we have previously brought in. He's very affectionate and loves to sit on human laps. He walks well on a leash and had a girlfriend at the shelter named Zoe, who just got adopted, so he needs a human family now. Since he has been a little fearful with strangers, we recommend an adults-only home, but once he bonds, he's very loyal and very loving. We did find out when we took him to the veterinarian to check on his hip and to get neutered, that he is calm around cats. So that's a good thing. He also gets along with other dogs. If you're interested in Elvis, please come and see us. And if you have other pups, a meet and greet is required. So February is just around the corner, and so is our second annual CCAS Valentine's Day event. The event will be held on Saturday, February 7th from 10 to 2 at the Government Center right in the front. All dog adoptions are sponsored by our wonderful friends of Calaveras Animal Services, Focus, and there will be food trucks. This is like a big deal. Food trucks, games, presentation of the Love Your Pet Award as well. Please come and join in on the fun, and more details will follow at the next board meeting announcement. Our dog volunteers in December gave 732.5 hours. Cat volunteers gave 89 hours. To our dog volunteers, thank you for being the highlight of our Shelter Dogs Day. Whether you are braving the rain for a walk, patiently working on sit and stay to help a pup become more adoptable, or simply offering a calm presence to a frightened soul in a kennel, your impact is immeasurable. You provide the exercise and mental stimulation that keeps their spirits alive while they wait for their forever homes. To our cat volunteers, thank you for your gentle patience and quiet compassion. From socializing shy kittens to providing much needed lap time for our residents, you make the shelter feel like a home. Your work reducing stress levels in the cat rooms directly saves lives by keeping our feline friends healthy and happy. To our focus partners, your tireless advocacy, fundraising, and support allow us to provide medical care and second chances that would otherwise be impossible. Elvis is an example of that. You are focused in so many ways, keeping our animal hearts beating. Because of you, tails are wagging and purrs are echoing. Thank you for choosing to spend your heart and energy with CCAS. So CCAS, during our Petsgiving, which ended December 31st, we have a 10 by 12 room full of good stuff, anywhere from dog crates to food, kitten food, pill pockets, wet and dry dog and cat food, toys for cats and dogs, blankets, slow feeders, potty pads, milk replacement for kittens, and dog and cat treats. So we want to thank our community for donating all of that good stuff for our community shelter. And that is all I have. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Further staff comment?
Good morning, Megan Osborne, IWM manager. I'm standing in for Jennifer Cashy today to give a quick announcement on load tarping, waste load tarping. Improperly secured loads of waste contribute to chronic litter problems along access roads leading to solid waste facilities, specifically along Milton Road leading to Rock Creek landfill. According to the California Office of Traffic Safety, a load is secure when nothing can slide, shift, or fall onto the roadway or become airborne. It is a priority of integrated waste management to address concerns and mitigate the occurrence of litter escaping waste loads that are being transported by the public to Rock Creek landfill for disposal. While it is generally common practice at California landfills to implement penalties for members of the public arriving at a landfill with loads that are not properly secured, IWM would prefer to support county residents' efforts to reduce litter and contribute to road safety by fostering a program that requires residents to have waste loads properly secured prior to entering Rock Creek landfill. Motorists whose waste loads are not properly secured would be required to either purchase a load securing tarp at the gatehouse or return to the facility only after the waste load is properly secured. The tarps will be available to the public for purchase at a reasonable cost. On April 14th, 2003, your board adopted resolution 0393 requiring motorists entering the Rock Creek solid waste facility without properly secured loads to purchase cover at the gatehouse. So we're really just resuming enforcement on this program. IWM staff feels this is an equitable solution to addressing ongoing litter and safety concerns, providing an option to purchase a tarp at county cost, supports state law requirements, and encourages compliance in the future. Rock Creek staff will be enforcing the tarping requirement effective February 12th, which is 30 days from today. You guys have any questions?
Thank you, Megan. Just one thing, pulling into Rock Creek, do we have the card machine operable full-time right now?
It is. It's-
Okay, because it's been hit and miss because of internet and other things in the past, so.
We've done some internet upgrades and upgraded the card reader company. So it has been, unless something randomly happens with the internet, we're pretty,
No, that's good because some people have been tedious about heading all the way there just
Yes.
because they didn't know if they were,
It is
operable.
95% better than it was a year ago.
Awesome.
Yep.
I appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you.
Any further staff announcements?
Okay, public comment.
No. Recognitions and so, we'll move on to recognitions and acknowledgements. Proclamation Administrative Office. Oh, Stacy, go ahead.
Item 2, Proclamation Administrative Office, adopt a proclamation recognizing and congratulating the Calaveras High School football team on winning the state championship on December 13th, 2025.
Supervisor Andal and Supervisor Toffenelli, I understand. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whereas the Calaveras High School football team completed a historic season, culminating in a decisive 42-21 victory in the state championship game on December 13th, 2025. And whereas this triumph marked the first ever state football title in school history, a milestone achievement that will forever be remembered in the annals of Calaveras athletics. And whereas the team's success was built upon resilience, discipline, and unity, as the players overcame challenges throughout the season and demonstrated exceptional sportsmanship and determination. And whereas the championship game showcased the team's talent and preparation with standout performances on both offense and defense, including explosive scoring drives and critical stops that secured the victory.
And whereas head coach and coaching staff provided steadfast leadership, instilling in the athletes the values of preservation, teamwork, and pride in representing their community. And whereas the team's accomplishment brought immense joy and pride to the entire Calaveras community, inspiring students, families, alumni, and residents who rallied behind the team during its historic run. And whereas the Calaveras Enterprise described the victory as the completion of a historic run, underscoring the significance of this achievement, not only for the athletes, but for the school and county at large. Are there any public comments? Not one of you want to come up and say anything? The coach doesn't want to say anything? No member, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother?
They've stayed awake this long.
All right, go back to school.
Hi, I'm head coach Manny Mosa, and one thing I'd really like to say is thank you to our amazing community, Board of Supervisors. It's been a run. We really appreciate the support.
All right. Yes, Marty.
So all of you may not be aware that there are people like me that are kind of invisible these days, you know, and you don't see us at the games, you know, but that doesn't mean we're not there rooting for you. And so we're so impressed. I took the newspaper article up to Reading for Christmas and showed it to my grandkids, and they went, "Why did they paint their hair yellow?" I go, "Well, that's one of the school colors." And they were so proud of you all the way up in Reading. They knew what it meant. So.
I'm Jared Hungerford, Calaveras County Superintendent of Schools, and I also want to congratulate you guys on an amazing season. We've been following along as your assistant coach, Joel Sanchez, is our maintenance director at Calaveras County Office of Education. And so he's been keeping us abreast of everything going on in your season. It's been just a lot of fun following your journey through his eyes. So congratulations on this significant achievement. Well done.
Any other public comments? All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Any comments from the board?
I would just like to say thank you for, exemplifying Calaveras strong and making us proud. I'm an alumni. I have children that go to school with you. My nephew is here. And it was our greatest honor to follow you to LA and watch you play down there. And thank you. Keep on making us proud.
Ditto. There's not much more to say. Also a Calaveras alumni, and I have a child and previous children that went to Calaveras High, and hold your head high because your achievements are great. And you know what? This is a great foundational point for you to start your life moving forward. So, you know, keep that in your pocket and work towards success and keep it going, gentlemen. There's no ladies on the team. I'm just making sure. So I gotta,
And my son and grandson both graduated from Calaveras High School. Gus was on the baseball team. So with that, I'm open for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now therefore be it proclaimed, the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors do hereby recognize and congratulate the Calaveras High School football team, their coaches, and all those who supported them for their extraordinary achievement in becoming state champions on December 13th, 2025. It's passed and adopted by the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors this 13th day of January, 2026. You want to get them all up here for a picture?
Take the session, you're going to the stars.
Can't see it. She told me to.
No, no. That wasn't. You know, just saying.
Are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
Sure, I'd like to.
Okay. Now the sheriff is coming in.
Hold on, everyone.
Okay. Yes. Oh.
Yeah. All right, Stacy, let's go on to the next recognition and acknowledgement, number 3.
Item 3, proclamation. Sheriff, adopt a proclamation recognizing Sheriff's Lieutenant Greg Stark for 31 years of service to the residents and visitors of Calaveras County and congratulating Lieutenant Stark on his retirement.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move this item to the end of the meeting.
Hold the board. No.
Oh,
Supervisor Toffenelli. This is,
Thank you,
you're gonna
Mr.
take
Chair.
on this.
I moved it once and so Greg, we've got to do it now. And
I read it.
She already did. You're good to go, sir.
okay, thank you. This is the Board of Supervisors, County of Calaveras proclamation recognizing Sheriff's Lieutenant Greg Stark for 31 years. All in a row, I guess, of service to the residents and visitors of Calaveras County and congratulating Lieutenant Stark on his retirement. Whereas Lieutenant Greg Stark retired on December 29th, 2025 after 31 years of dedicated service to the County of Calaveras, as well as a well-respected member of Calaveras County Sheriff's Office. Whereas Lieutenant Stark has been a leader among his peers, having been promoted to corporal, sergeant, and lieutenant, and has worked in multiple assignments throughout his 31-year career. Lieutenant Stark's assignments have included correctional training officer, patrol deputy, bailiff, off-highway patrol deputy, patrol sergeant, marine safety sergeant, detective sergeant, and operations division lieutenant. And whereas Lieutenant Stark has been a member of supervisor of special teams, including spending 25 consecutive years in leadership for the search and rescue team, 14 years as a member of the leader of the dive team, 12 years as a member of and eventual commander of the SWAT team, and 4 years as a member of the explosive ordnance disposal unit. Whereas Lieutenant Stark consistently placed extra effort in all of his tasks and held additional assignments, which have included neighborhood watch coordinator, canine program supervisor, crowd control team leader, rural crimes coordinator, public information officer, mutual aid coordinator, and the host of the Behind the Badge podcast. And whereas Lieutenant Stark has earned numerous degrees and professional certificates, including Masters of Science, Bachelor of Science, a Master and a Bachelor, Post Basic Intermediate, Advanced, Supervisory, and Management certificates. And whereas Lieutenant Stark has been recognized with several awards and honors, including earning 3 medals of merit, 2 unit citations, 5 campaign ribbons, and has also been recognized as the Deputy of the Year in 2006, 20 years ago. What have you been doing for the last 20 years then? Lieutenant Stark is a graduate of the Calaveras Leadership Program, as well as the Sherman Block Supervisory Leadership. And whereas Lieutenant Stark has shown continuous dedication to the safety of staff and the public and is deployed for days or weeks to assist other counties during mutual aid and natural disaster missions. And whereas Lieutenant Stark has exemplified a commitment to the community, the department, and his assignments through his actions and accomplishments, his work ethic, professional integrity, and perseverance have made his service exemplary. And whereas Lieutenant Stark's service has made a tremendous impact and his legacy will continue to resonate with people of Calaveras County, the Sheriff's Office, and everyone who had the pleasure of working with him. Lieutenant Stark has enriched our county with his service and is worthy of the community's respect and recognition. And with that, is there any board members have any comments?
I would like to say that, you know, through experience outside the chambers here, that Greg, you know, beyond the front lines and what everyone thinks about the sheriff's department and what their job is the after effects of some traumatic events. And Greg is a sound voice that listens to reason, and I just really appreciate all the help you gave to my family and my wife's ex-husband and everything. I mean, you went over and above within the confines of your job, and we really appreciate what you did for us getting through the events we went through. Thank you, Greg. It's appreciated.
Any other board comments?
There we go. Thank you, Lieutenant, for everything that you've done for my district, for everybody, for myself, for the learning and jumping on this whole bandwagon. And I just really appreciate you and your efforts. Thank you.
I'm gonna echo Martin. Thank you for everything you have also done for my district. Also, when I started here, in 2021, 2020, you really helped me understand more about the sheriff's office, and I really appreciate that camaraderie too, of allowing me to call you and talk things out of what's been going on in the district. So I really appreciate your not just your leadership and working with you, but also your friendship, and you will be missed.
I'd also like to say thank you, Lieutenant, for everything in District 2 and countywide. This last year, I've enjoyed multiple community events with you and your leadership in those communities, and you'll be greatly missed. Hope to see you at fundraisers and everything else.
Public comments.
So you read a lot of words in that proclamation there. And I think we should ask ourselves, how is it possible that one person could accomplish that much? And you still have color in your hair. I'm just, I mean, there's so much more time, you know, and I just ditto everything everybody said, but I just find it astounding that one person could accomplish as much as you have, and kudos. Thank you. Come on up, Greg.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you so much to the board for the recognition. The majority of my patrol division wasn't even born when Greg started working for our department. No joke, you do the math, 3 decades. His wife, however, is going gray from the 31 years. And I think she probably deserves this plaque just as much as Greg is. But as you all saw probably publicly, we already did our send off for Greg and his last sign off on the day after Christmas. But we put everything in the proclamation. I mean, what else can you say when you lay it all out? It is an amazing career. His degrees, his education, that after working in a career for 20 years and still having that drive for not only your professional growth, but your personal growth, and still willing to expand on that and try and, you know, continue to improve yourself for the betterment, not of himself, but of our community and for who he's been serving. So Greg, we have this plaque from the department, you know, 1994 to 2026. We thank you for all your service.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There's gonna be more. You can.
Take it out, show it around, take it out. Let's see it. Fantastic. They spell Stark right on it?
Close enough.
That's it.
I'm Jim Oden, current DSA president. Greg was prior DSA president. He kind of paved the way for our union and our employees and got us a lot of benefits and raises and COLAs over the years. And we just want to appreciate your service as a DSA member.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Michelle's filling up.
Well, thank you very much. 31 years has been a long time. I started at 20 and a half in the jail, in the old jail with bars and everything. A lot of growing over the years, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of laughs, a lot of crying. I accept these awards and recognition on behalf of everybody that couldn't make it. Since I started, over 3,000 law enforcement officers lost their lives on the line of duty, and countless others didn't make retirement because of serious injury. A specific horrible year was 9/11. Over 241 officers died that year. So on behalf of them, I accept these and your thanks and the proclamation for the ones who didn't make it. So thank you very much.
Down there. We still got to vote on that.
Any other public comments? Wait, we're not done yet. Hold on. We haven't voted yet. We haven't voted yet, so yeah, public comment.
Jesse, come on.
I just wanted to come up real quick. Jesse Fowler, Agriculture Commissioner. It wasn't mentioned, so Greg put a lot of effort into the Ag Pass program, and I just wanted to thank him for all of his coordination and getting those trainings together. We're really gonna miss him. Thank you, Greg. Congratulations.
Any other public comments?
Lisa Medina, Environmental Management Agency Administrator. Greg, we're gonna miss you. Greg has always been committed and engaged in almost everything we do across all the departments that we manage. And he's a great colleague, and we're gonna miss him. And I just want to thank him for his service.
My name is Daryl Tom, and I'm the board chairman for the Calaveras County Search and Rescue Team. Lieutenant Stark has been an integral part of our team, both as a supporter, collaborator, as well as someone that's been involved personally with the team on many searches and rescues throughout his career. We're very grateful for the partnership that we've had with Greg, and we're very hopeful that in retirement, he'll actually have more time to be part of the search and rescue team. So we want to thank Greg for everything he's done for us, and we look forward to the next chapter working together with Greg.
Any other public comments?
Here on behalf of Friends of Calaveras County Fair, I've worked with Greg over the years, for many years, involved in the fair. He is very, very involved, and we appreciate him greatly. We hope he's going to be a wonderful volunteer now in any and all capacities. So thank you, Greg.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. Greg, I just want to say thank you for all the years. You're right. When we started, jail was next door. This was a courtroom. We had metal detectors and bailiffs that, yeah. So thank you for your service. We've known each other for a long time and continue to know each other afterwards. So with that, I'll ask the board for a motion.
Sir, Greg, aspire and success to you as you move forward in every avenue that you choose. So with that, I'll make a motion.
A motion by Supervisor Stopper, second by Huberty. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Lieutenant Greg Stark is recognized and honored for his unwavering dedication to the residents and visitors of Calaveras County during his 31 years of service at the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office. Is passed and adopted by the Board of Supervisors of the County of Calaveras, State of California, this 13th day of January, 2026.
Yes, ma'am.
Anthony up here.
Anthony, I'm sorry. Awesome. No. You thought that. Good.
Spread it out.
Ready? Perfect.
Cheers.
Under here.
Next. I just know some all this so close. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
We should have held them till the end of the meeting. General public comment, Stacy?
Any item of interest to the public that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and is not posted on the consent or regular agendas may be addressed during the public comment period. California law prohibits the board from taking action on any matter which is not posted on the agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Board of Supervisors. If public comment is completed before the 30-minute allotted time period, the board may immediately move to the next order of business. If public comment is not completed during the allotted time period, it will be continued as the last item of business in order to provide an opportunity for the remainder of comments to be heard.
Good morning. My name is Linda Deesum. I live upcountry in District 2, right next to the South Fork of the McCallum River. I'm here to support the open space plan assessment by Muriel Zeller and the initial changes to the open space plan by Tom Infacino, submitted to you all in November on behalf of the Calaveras Planning Coalition. As you know, the open space plan is a collection of goals, policies, and implementation measures relating to open space protection and management, which are found in multiple elements of the county's general plan. The Planning Coalition asks that you meet all open space plan statutory requirements as soon as is possible. I understand that the Planning Department is currently focused on complying with the provisions of Government Code Section 65565.5, which requires that the open space plan must be updated to address 3 specific topics: equitable access to open space, climate resilience and other co-benefits of open space, and rewilding opportunities. Since this update is due by January 1, 2026, and since the Planning Department did not meet the deadline, we agree that completing this update should be a top priority for 2026. At the same time, we can improve the clarity of the open space plan without adding new goals, policies, and implementation measures. We can do so by identifying the list of general plan provisions that comprise the open space plan, by providing a preliminary schedule for completing open space plan implementation measures, and by explaining how the existing open space plan provisions work together to meet the statutory purposes of the open space plan. But that is not the only task before you. This is one of those yes and moments. You also need an open space plan by 2028 that complies with the wildlife habitat connectivity requirements of the Room to Rome Act. In addition, between 2026 and 2028, we need to fix other weaknesses in the open space plan as well. We must engage in landscape level planning to conserve open space wherever possible and to create an integrated network of open space. Include all the statutorily required parts of an open space plan using common open space conservation tools, and retain natural resource protections intended to apply to a broad spectrum of discretionary land use decisions.
Thank you.
My name is Sue Hofer and I live in Vallecito. I'm here to support the open space plan assessment by Muriel Zeller and the initial changes to the open space plan by Tom Infestino submitted to you all by email on behalf of the Calaveras Planning Coalition. In particular, I encourage you to engage in landscape level planning to conserve an integrated network of open space. A central feature of the existing open space plan is a set of implementation measures to reduce the harm to open space resources from future discretionary development proposals. While we appreciate the importance of such mitigation, it merely reduces the harm to these resources from a narrow category of activities, namely future discretionary development. Alone, these mitigation measures and protocols cannot comprehensively address open space conservation across the landscape because the landscape is and will be shaped by past, ongoing, and future harm from other sources, such as by right uses, government agency and utility uses, and climate change. The open space statutes call for a comprehensive plan to conserve open space wherever possible, to create an integrated network of open space to provide for outdoor recreation, sustain fish and wildlife habitat, continue agricultural timber and mineral resource production, ensure public safety, and protect cultural resources. A proper approach to such planning would inventory existing conditions of these resources across the landscape, identify the future conditions sufficient to meet open space conservation needs, and adopt the goals, policies, objectives, and implementation measures sufficient to achieve those future conditions. See the Zeller assessment. As an example, look at wildlife habitat planning. Because there are so many adverse conditions on the landscape in Calaveras, our open space plan needs to identify an integrated network of blocks, corridors of habitat that need conservation and management to maintain viable populations of the full spectrum of local fish, game, other wildlife species. Then the open space plan can identify the various tools the county will use in collaboration with other jurisdictions to conserve that habitat. This is essential if the county is to meet the requirements of the Room to Rome Act after January 1st, 2028. This very same landscape level approach can be used to sustain agriculture, timber, and mineral production, ensure public safety, protect cultural resources. When you direct the planning department on priorities for this year and next, please direct them to take a landscape level approach to conserve an integrated network of open space resources.
Thank you. In the interest of time, we have more than 10 people. If we have more than 10 people lined up, if we could, some of you are talking at the same point, get an order because I limited it to a half an hour total. But I don't see 10 yet, but if there ends up being 10, so.
My name is Joyce Techel. I live in District 1. I am here to support the open space assessment by Muriel Zeller and the initial changes to the open space plan by Tom Infestino submitted to you all via email in November on behalf of the Calaveras Planning Coalition. Specifically, I am here today to encourage you to include all the required parts in your open space plan and to embrace common tools for open space conservation. As the assessment points out, there remain statutorily required parts of an open space plan that the county still needs to complete or update. Some of this information could be summarized in the plan and incorporated by reference in the plan from existing documents. In addition, to date, Calaveras County has not fully embraced the basic planning tools used to conserve open space. Calaveras County does not fully embrace the use of permanent conservation easements to conserve open space. Calaveras County has an open space zone and an environmental protection zone in the code, but we only apply those zones to the zoning map in very narrow and exceptional circumstances. Calaveras County has not approved guidelines for the proper application of clustering or the proper location of clustering. Quote, any action by a county or city by which open space, land, and any interest therein is acquired or disposed of, or its use restricted or regulated, whether or not pursuant to this part must be consistent with the local open space plan. That's section 65566. Quote, no building permit may be issued, no subdivision map approved, and no open space zoning ordinance adopted unless the proposed construction, subdivision, or ordinance is consistent with the local open space plan, section 65567. If, as in Calaveras County, the open space plan does not conform to requirements of the open space statute, then the county has no lawful authority to approve building permits or subdivisions on open space land. Now is the time for this board to agendize the item to direct the planning department to correct the deficiencies in the open space plan, because the open space plan is not just about protecting bunnies and birds. This is about people being safe in the face of worsening wildfires, making sure that ranchers have enough water for their livestock in the face of drier years, securing available funding from the state of California so willing local landowners can reduce wildfire risks, supplement water supplies, improve rangeland productivity, and sequester additional carbon. The benefits of success are many. The consequences of failure are serious, and delay is not an option.
Thank you, Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Penny Sarvis. I live in Murphy's, and I'm here also to support the open space plan assessment by Muriel Zellia and the initial changes by Tommy Fusino. I'm here to implore the Board of Supervisors to direct the planning department to create an order, pacing, timeline, and/or calendar for the open space plan's implementation measures. The government code says that it is a statutory duty of the planning department to, quote, investigate and make recommendations to the legislative body regarding reasonable and practical means for implementing the general plan or element of the general plan so that it will serve as an effective guide for orderly growth and development, preservation and conservation of open space land and natural resources, and the efficient expenditure of public funds relating to the subjects addressed in the general plan. The county has argued that there is no specific statutory duty to have an implementation timeline or calendar, but the question is, would it be a good idea to have an implementation order, pace, timeline, or calendar? Would it help the planning department to meet its statutory duty to recommend means to implement the general plan? If you decide to put your open space implementation tasks in order, then you can choose the ordering criteria, be it the tasks reflecting the greatest needs, the tasks that are most easily funded, or the tasks that are most popular. If you give your implementation effort a pace, like completing 2 tasks per year for the next 5 years, then if you fall behind your pace, you know you may need to increase staff and funding to catch up. If you put your tasks on a timeline, like bunching them into smaller packages for implementing over successive 5-year periods, then you can prepare in advance to get things done by identifying costs and staffing needs and identifying funding sources. In Tom Infustino's written comments that he sent to you, he provided a sample open space plan implementation schedule, which puts implementation tasks into topical groups to be completed in 2-year increments. This allows the county to select staff or consultants with topical expertise and to engage topical interest groups like ranchers, miners, timberland managers, when drafting codes or outlining programs meaningful to them. Jurisdictions with complete open space plans get priority when seeking state open plans funding. The foothill counties with which Calaveras landowners must compete, including Plumas, Placer, El Dorado, Amador, Tuolumne, and Mariposa, complete their open space plans with some form of implementation guideline.
timeline. Please add an implementation timeline to our open space plan to help us compete for those funds so that willing landowners can implement the general space plan. Thank you.
It's great. You see that. We learned things today already. You know.
I'll help myself.
I'll turn on my microphone.
Good morning. My name is Marty Crane. I live in Valley Springs. And I too am here today to encourage you to build a complete and valid open space plan. As the Board of Supervisors, it is your job to adopt a valid open space plan. It is absolutely not your job to water down an open space plan to the point where it does not conform to the law, simply to preserve a unanimous board approval. Furthermore, if you choose to live with your current outdated and substandard open space plan, then any and all blame for the harm that stems from that plan, be it from wildfire or flood or the decline of the resource production sector of our economy, falls squarely and rightfully on your shoulders because you did not do your job. That being said, we at the Calaveras Planning Coalition do not believe the assigning of blame is or should be your primary motivation for completing an open space plan. We want a valid open space plan to maintain the multi-million-dollar resource production sector of the local economy, to provide for outdoor recreation, to reduce the safety risks associated with flooding and wildfires, to sustain viable populations of fish, game, and other wildlife species, and to protect Native American cultural resources. We hope you do too. In addition, we ask that you do not get these coming dates of the open space plan wrong. This is important because the state has a tendency to take away local powers that are not being effectively used. Over the past 55 years, the state of California has regionalized power away from local governments with regard to water quality regulation, air quality regulation, and groundwater basin regulation. Why? Because when local governments fail to use their powers to solve problems, the states take away the powers from local governments. It's just that simple. In conclusion, if you want to avoid blame for the harmful failures of a substandard open space plan, if you want to achieve the lofty purposes of open space plans, if you want to hold on to the powers that you have to solve local problems, then please let us work together to fix the open space plan over the next 2 years. It will be far easier and far more rewarding than you think. On behalf of Calaveras Planning Coalition, I thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Infacino, good to see you engaged again. It's been a
Good
while.
morning. My name is Tom Infacino. As an attorney, I'm usually up here speaking on behalf of somebody else, but today I'm speaking on my own behalf. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed Christmas. One of the great moments in the Christmas story is when God's angels announced the birth of the Savior. As we know from the Bible story, God did not send those angels to the high priests. God did not send those angels to the learned scribes. God did not even send those angels to the wealthy merchants. God announced the birth of his only son by sending angels to the herdsmen. God sent angels to hardworking, God-fearing men who lived directly from the bounty of God's creation. Men who had the wisdom to know a blessing when they see it, and to recognize salvation in the form of a newborn. When that son grew up, he would call himself the Good Shepherd. About 18 centuries later, when America was born, Thomas Jefferson wrote about his hope that America would remain a nation of farmers. Jefferson realized that the work of raising crops and livestock not only produced good food, but also good people, people with both the great strength and the nurturing spirit to lead a nation. During 3 decades of work, I have been blessed to spend time in communities throughout the Sierra foothills. I have seen firsthand that Jefferson is correct. Wherever I go, I find farmers and ranchers and their children serving on boards of supervisors, on planning commissions, and in other valuable leadership roles. As a county, as a culture, as a country, we cannot afford to lose these people. You all know there are many threats to the future of local ranching that we in this room cannot control. Outside economic competition, federal laws and regulations, and climate change, just to name a few. But there is one thing squarely and exclusively within your power and authority as supervisors that you can do to support the private investments of so many in the future of local agriculture. You can fix the open space plan as suggested by the CPC speakers today. They ask you to emulate the hard work and nurturing spirit of the Good Shepherd. Please answer their prayers with a yes. Later on today and tomorrow, you are holding a special meeting on your 2026 to 2029 strategic plan. Please add to that strategic plan the updates of the conservation and open space element and the housing element that need to be done in that 2026 to 2029 window. Thank you and Happy New Year.
Mr. Butler. My name is Christopher Butler, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com. On November 20th, 2025, I filed a criminal complaint for stalking and harassment with the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office against the spouse of a Calaveras County District Supervisor for 2 incidents that occurred on October 14th, 2025, escalating, I allege, to this supervisor's spouse stalking me to my home and exhibiting aggressive vehicular behavior. It is pertinent to the record that I am the sole caretaker of my 92-year-old mother who was at home as this incident transpired in front of our house. This incident continues a pattern begun on April 25th, 2023, with the instigating incident initiated by this supervisor's spouse right here on the grounds of this county government campus. The supervisor in question was discreetly presented with 3 opportunities by me to avoid this moment of public disclosure. Yet that supervisor chose to ignore my genuine overtures to de-escalate this situation, evidently in the mistaken belief this matter would just go away on its own. The Calaveras County Sheriff's Office has just informed me of concluding its investigation of my case and referring it to the DA's office for further review to determine if criminal charges for stalking and harassment are applicable against this supervisor's spouse. I'll now leave that to DA Uke to promptly determine. Penal Code Section 646.9 is California's primary stalking statute. It is applicable when all 4 prongs of the stalking statute have been satisfied. PC 646.9 applies to any person who willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly follows or willfully and maliciously harasses another person and who makes a credible threat with the intent to place that person in reasonable fear for their safety or the safety of their immediate family. Per the statute, harasses means engaging in knowing and willful course of conduct directed at a specific person that seriously alarms, annoys, torments, or terrorizes the person, and that serves no legitimate purpose. Per the statute, course of conduct means 2 or more acts occurring over a period of time, however short, evidencing a continuity of purpose. Per the statute, credible threat includes a threat implied by a pattern of conduct made with the intent to place the person that is the target of the threat in reasonable fear for their safety or the safety of their family, and made with the apparent ability to carry out the threat so as to cause the person who is the target of the threat to reasonably fear for the safety, their safety or the safety of their family. Noteworthy, it is not necessary to prove that the defendant had the intent to actually carry out the threat. The evidence supporting my complaint meets the 4 prongs of willful and malicious conduct, repeated acts, credible threat, and intent to cause fear. I assert that all 4 prongs of the statute have therefore been satisfied. I await DA Uke's determination concerning the applicability of criminal charges against the supervisor's spouse. My name is Christopher Butler, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com.
I got some documents here for the board there. Good morning. My name is Nick. I'm an honorary discharged veteran. Played a role in the suppression of the 2-7 fire. I speak in regards to the legal construction, lack of procedural due process of the largest telecommunication facility on 150 Valley Bluffs Road in Douglas Flat. We'll provide significant details on how this facility came to be and the risk it puts on the residents of the town of Murphy's and all of Calaveras County. In 2011, a land use application was submitted by Golden State Cellular for a 30-foot high portable cell tower. This will be placed on a 4 by 2 foot base. There's no construction needed at all, simply a small portable unit will be placed on 900 square foot leased area. Because this is not a portable unit, not ever structure, appears strict setback and building codes were not needed, and the National Environmental Policy Act did not need to be addressed. There's no legal obligation to inform the local Native American community or submit building plans. This was like parking the tower equivalent of an RV on a plot of land. That's all. In 2011, the AUP was approved even after significant pushback from the neighbors. The AUP was then issued for a 40-foot portable cell tower on a 10-by-10 portable base. It would have 6 antennas, although the tower appears to have been 30 feet tall after construction. Golden State Cellular also helped the state maintain the road. This never came to life. How the permit grew another 10 feet is still a mystery. This was not even asked for in the land use application. The portable cell tower was quickly placed. In 2015, another AUP was applied for. This was to have an 80-foot permanent tower that looked like a tree. Most neighbors and caretakers of Valsea Bluffs Road were never even notified. The 2015 AUP did have a flaw. This now permanent construction would have to comply with setback rules, fire codes, as well as the National Environmental Policy Act, thus notifying the local Native American community. The contractor reached out to Calaveras Miwok Cultural and Preservation Consultants. The consultants for the Miwok tribe determined this was a potential sacred site and could not be built on. The 2015 then expired after a year, and the portable unit continued to stand. No construction ever commenced. In 2018, the contractor sent a letter to the county admitting that the site could not be built on. The contractor came up with a despicable plan. They cleverly removed all the words portable from further documents and stated there was a structure already on the site, and they will do modifications to it to hold more equipment. The modification was driving the portable unit off Valsea Bluffs Road and building a 45-foot permanent facility on a significantly larger footprint. Clearly, this was no modification at all. This is deliberate action to prevent all oversight in this location. In 2019, the first round of construction was completed, and is now a permanent telecommunication facility with complete disregard of the law. This is no longer a small portable stick. This tower is constantly worked on and growing without any notifications of neighbors or local Native American communities as required by federal and state law. It now holds over 20 antennas, 80% within our 50-foot easement. It is growing and under construction as we speak. This was never approved, and the tower continues to operate off the 2011 AUP, which was for a small portable unit. Additionally, any reference to the 2015 AUP is invalid as construction started in 2018, years after that AUP expired. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We request the tower become an agenda item in the next Board of Supervisors meeting so we could properly walk you through how procedural due process was not followed and how this highly illegal and dangerous construction occurred. For the safety of the community and to correct the massive list of violations, this tower needs to be immediately energized and the AUP revoked. And I have some paperwork right here.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amanda and I'm a resident of Calaveras County. I live on Valsea Bluffs Road in Douglas Flat. I would also like to share my grievances regarding the cell tower on Valsea Bluffs Road and dive deeper into the more technical issues. The tower is operating illegally and unsafely. It violates its 2011 administrative use permit and was improperly constructed in 2018. In addition, it continues to be a nuisance and fire life safety risk to the neighboring properties. In 2018, the county converted a 2011 permit for a portable tower into a permanent structure. It replaced a no-impact portable tower with a fixed foundation-anchored installation. In 2018, the project's own construction documents describe it as a new construction. Therefore, it should have met all current zoning setbacks and telecommunications facilities municipal code requirements, plus had a new AUP. The current tower violates many of these requirements. In 2018, construction required a 30-foot side and rear setback and a 60-foot front setback. Yet a certified survey shows the tower was built just 4.6 feet from the neighboring property line. Additionally, the new tower is placed significantly inside the 50-foot non-exclusive easement where construction is prohibited. The setback violation forces its fall zone onto the neighboring property. Per the municipal code, a 1-acre parcel or larger requires a minimum of 30-foot setback for fall zone. In addition, the county has failed to provide the residents of Valsea Bluffs Road with a certified RF emissions report measuring radiation levels demonstrating compliance with FCC general population limits. Furthermore, the Native American Lands Approval through the National Environmental Policy Act never gave their approval for the new tower, and they explicitly denied construction on the site. The facility sits in a designated high fire severity zone and is legally required to meet the state and county fire safety regulations. The improper placement of the tower eliminates the required defensible space and creates a severe fire hazard involving high voltage equipment and a non-water extinguishable batteries. On the AUP, the applicant selected no for hazardous materials, but on the tower, there's a clear NFPA fire diamond, which shows there's a risk of hazardous and flammable materials. Though the tower is essentially a lightning rod, the Murphy's 27 lightning strike fire that went through Vallecito Bluffs Road this year demonstrates that this area is a high fire risk and is subject to 104-mile-an-hour winds. The cell tower's construction crews and heavy machinery have repeatedly crossed onto neighboring private properties, causing documented erosion, soil destabilization, and a misuse of the easement. The original 2011 AUP clearly states the applicant was prepared to contribute their fair share towards the maintenance of the road. The applicant has failed to uphold this and leaves residents to bear all costs. We encourage the tower be dismantled and to revoke the AUP. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Dennis Griffin. I live on the Vallecito Bluffs, what they're talking about. When I first moved up there in the middle of the 70s, I built my home. The tower didn't exist. When the tower was initially moved in there, it was on a huge tractor trailer type of, it wasn't permanent. It later became permanent for some reason. And at the time that it was being proposed, I came to the board meeting and they promised the board that they would help maintain our road because of their heavy equipment, which is going up and down a single lane gravel road. It's now in terrible shape and they're using boom equipment that is, work on the tower. And earlier this week, my next door neighbor who are wheelchair bound cannot get out. They need medical services. I was 8 minutes trying to get out the gate because they were moving equipment on 6 Mile Road and we couldn't go anywhere. When I came back from the post office with their mail, the equipment was still going up the road in less than a mile a minute. It took 25 minutes from 6 Mile Road to my driveway, which is the first house at the top of the hill. And all I could think of was if they needed emergency services, they were out of luck. You know what I mean? Because they can't wait 40 minutes for somebody to bring an ambulance up because that equipment is on the road. So that was the third point I wanted to make. And finally, the girls who used to live where Nick is now living, one of them is suffering severe Alzheimer's. She's led out round by her hand in town. She cannot talk to anybody. She doesn't know who I am. And she knew me for 25 years. And I don't know that that tower radiation had anything to do with it, but she is severely handicapped. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Terry, I'm gonna let the last three, I went through 10 people and every one of them used absolutely every bit of their 3 minutes, but you know what, let's power through. I'm stopping at these three though, and okay, thank you.
I appreciate that. Terry McBride, New California State Committee Chair, Senator, President of the Senate pro tempore, District 2, lifelong resident, Calaveras County. On Friday, January 15, we celebrate our 8th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence from the state of California. I'd like to read that. Affirmation of allegiance to the United States of America. Justification for formation of the state of New California, January 15, 2018. With faith, diligence, and our sacred honor, we do hereby declare our unity with natural law in the United States of America's Constitution. We stand firm in our pledge to maintain and support the freedoms of the people of our nation and New California at all times, at home and abroad. With God as our witness, honoring the foundational principles, we take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, to stand together as free citizens of New California and be a sovereign state of that nation which we hold dear, the United States of America, as we seek to remain a member of our union in order to form a more perfect union, resolved to create the free, sovereign, and independent state of New California due to the past and current government of California having failed in their oath of office obligations and responsibilities as representatives of we the people, to provide a Republican form of government as guaranteed by Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution. Declaration of Independence, State of New California. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator to certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political hands which have been connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. They should declare the causes which cause them to separate. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it's the right of the people to alter and to abolish and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such design as most likely to affect the safety and happiness. Governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown mankind is more disposed to suffer, while evils ends are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms of which they are accustomed. However, when a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under the despotism, it is their right and it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. The history of the present governor and government of California is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of a tyranny over the counties of New California and the state of California. Please look up down at our website, newcaliforniastate.com, and thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Do you have a cold?
Hello, I'm Jared Hungerford, Calaveras County Superintendent of Schools. And while here, I wanted to take the opportunity just to express my gratitude for the relationship that the education community in Calaveras has with the departments of Calaveras County. We work together in so many different ways. Our work intersects in how we support students and families. And being a small county, it's crucial that we work together and take all of the resources at our disposal and use them in an integrated way to meet the needs of our families. And we feel like we're moving in the right direction with our county partners and business partners in the medical community to meet the needs of all students. So I just encourage that continued spirit of collaboration and cooperation. Very recently, just to thank Eric Holt, who recently left, he pulled together a meeting for all of the superintendents in our county with Sheriff Whiting and Lieutenant Stark and Nick Caskey from CAL FIRE to talk about improved communication during emergencies. And we're just really grateful for that opportunity that everyone came together. And through that discussion, we were able to establish a couple of clear communication paths, and us in the education community learned quite a bit about how communication flows in emergencies. As you know, clearly we're trying to make decisions for students on the spot, and every bit of information that we can get helps us to make the best informed decision about whether students should come to school, whether they should stay home, where to send them on a bus route. So that's just one example of the collaboration that we have, but on everything from mental health, physical health, student safety, emergency response, we are it's always receptive. All of the people that work for you, that you oversee, have really cooperated well with us. And I just want to keep encouraging that spirit and that work as we aim to serve our community together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. It's a two-way street, so thank you. Ms. Herndon.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. I'll be brief. My name is Jennifer Herndon, and I'm here in the capacity of the president of the County SEIU 1021. I'm speaking on behalf of our organization today regarding the recent presidential executive orders that granted holidays this past December 24th and December 26th. Our purpose today is not to ask for action. It is to formally raise an issue and a request that this be brought back for discussion at a future meeting. Under our current memo of understanding, section 8.02, holidays appointed by president or governor require adoption by the Board of Supervisors. Earlier last year, when President Biden issued an executive order designating January 9th of 25 National Day of Mourning, the board appropriately exercised its authority and adopted the holiday for our county employees. The executive order issued by President Trump regarding December 24th and December 26th mirrors that same exact language. However, in this instance, the board was not given the opportunity to consider whether to adopt those holidays, and instead, you were told that no action was possible, effectively removing the board from a decision that the contract and the MOU clearly places with you. So our concern is not simply about the holidays themselves, it's more about the process and the consistency and with respect to the board's authority and the contractual rights of our employees. So we respectfully ask that you issue, that this item be agendized so that the board may openly consider it and provide clarity moving forward.
Thank you, Ms. Herndon. All right. You ready for the consent agenda, Ms. Simpson?
Yes. Consent agenda. Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request a removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to recuse myself from item number 15. I will be voting on the rest of them. That one I will recuse myself from.
Okay. Is there any other items that the board would like to pull? Is there any staff that would like to discuss any consent agenda items or public? With that, I'll consider a motion in its entirety with him being recused from item 15.
I move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then do we do 15 separate?
No, I think the clerk's minutes will just reflect this.
Reflect that, yeah.
Can we take a break here for the regular?
Yeah, I think so. It's past 10. So let's do a 10-minute and then we'll get started with the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. With that, we'll move on to the regular agenda. Let me make sure we got the right item number 38.
Item 38, action item, Clerk of the Board of Supervisors, adopt the 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting. And I have the
Meeting calendar.
I'm fine with the calendar the way it is. I don't see it any different than what we've ever done.
Any public comment? Come on, you guys don't have anything to say about the meeting calendar? All right. Anything online, Ms. Simpson?
We have no online public comment.
Thank you.
I'll move this item.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote of the board. Thank you, Ms. Simpson. That would make number 39.
Item 39, action item, Clerk of the Board of Supervisors, assign members of the Board of Supervisors to various committees for calendar year 2026. I did want to note that I did delete Calaveras Workforce Initiative. That was confirmed that was disbanded by the superintendent's office. But there is one addition, is the Park and Recreation Commission as having a board representative as ex officio member.
Yes. Any supervisors have any comments to these ends? I believe there's one or two that have multiple.
Chair, I just had two quick questions. What are the other two question marks that are put here along the side?
I think that's just a note. Sorry, ignore.
Ms. Goldorf?
Yeah, Supervisor Andal and I were discussing the strategic planning and finance committee. I know we had that discussion last year. If the appetite of the board to either change the time of strategic planning or the date, I don't know if that's built into the JPA, we would like to swap. If that is okay with the rest of the board. The conflict is that there's another meeting in Jackson that same day at 2 p.m. I believe. And
Central Sierra.
But I think it would be wise. I think it would be wise as we go into this new strategic planning that Supervisor Hubbard and all are part of this. And I would like to advocate for her to take my place. But it obviously takes some rearranging, some logistics.
This is just a standing committee of this board, and so it's really within your discretion and purview what date and time you want its meetings to be. So that's something that you as a board can choose. So that shouldn't be an issue to change it as long as you can find something that works for everybody.
Yeah, barring everybody else who serves on that committee, I would love to keep it the same day, maybe just earlier in the day. Then they have time to get over to Central Sierra Child Support Agency at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So I know staff is also involved. So I don't know if that's a logistic that could be discussed and brought back. Does that need more time to massage? But if we agree that that time can be earlier in the day and then staff and the supervisors can coordinate it.
So our office has no issue with changing the date to be more convenient within your schedule.
So we can just bring a quick little item back to the board, making that change to the committee. That shouldn't be an issue.
It's in the bylaws, so we just would bring back an item and then in the bylaws.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, then, if that's okay, then we would like to do that swap unless there's another person that would want to be the alternate. I am open. I'm just, for now, simple swaps.
I'm fine with your recommendation at this point. We'll wait till we change the date for me to change my mind.
I'm fine with everything. I'm not interested in changing anything I'm on. I'm fine
I'm comfortable. I mean, there's a few I've been made chair of once again this year. So, you know, it'd be beneficial for me to continue to carry the torch in those situations. Unless someone is wanting.
And that was the only one, which was a carryover from last year.
So everyone else comfortable?
Yes.
All right, well, public comment?
Sorry, really quickly, for Parks and Rec, I need a board rep and an alternate, please.
Oh. Parks and
When
Rec.
is that?
Actually,
What are the dates?
apologize, I did not.
No worries.
Let me
My
see.
apologies, Stacy.
I have it up.
Isn't it next Wednesday?
Yes, it is the third Thursday of each month at 9 AM.
Okay. That conflicts every quarter with CSEDD for me, and I think there's another one that's off on that. So it's kind of conflicting at time for me.
That conflict with OCOC the day before, because sometimes I don't get back into town until the following day in the afternoon.
Drive faster.
Leave that night.
I'm in
Leave the
standard.
next- yeah,
for
leave
the
that
Agency
night.
On Aging on Thursdays. Those Thursdays.
What was the reason why we need to be on?
It's something, it was in their bylaws that they put as far as having the board member as an ex officio member.
It's in their board approved bylaws, so.
So.
Yeah. You didn't read it?
Apparently not. I missed that one. I was focused on the strategic plan bylaws, though. I knew what those bylaws were.
I wouldn't expect, I didn't recall it, and I'm pretty sure I read it.
Well, normally, all the years I've been on the board, when we get to something like this, it's usually the junior board member that gets to sign that. So,
Miss Andal?
I was waiting for
Are
that.
you opening this? I mean, and looking for it, but you know, because you've been working so much on your parks.
Have a lot of parks.
Yeah, and I mean, you can
Um,
report the news to us and we can just say no still.
Right. This Thursday I have CMCAA.
That's
This,
this,
the third
yeah.
Thursday in January, but I don't know that that is consistent.
no, that's a quarterly meeting,
It's
isn't it?
quarterly, so,
That's just like
Yeah.
what my CSEDD.
so navigating that
so you're talking 4 meetings.
So,
potential that conflict.
so Supervisor Andal, we could bring that back, much like the strategic planning meeting, to find a more convenient date for your schedule.
Okay,
You have to make sure that's okay with the Parks and Rec Commission. They're pretty,
I'll take it up.
So,
But do we need an alternate?
Mr. Hubbardy.
I was gonna say, I'm on the alternate list quite frequently, so I might as well just add it as an.
I was
addition.
gonna say the same thing.
well,
The
I'm
third Wednesday.
pretty much the same.
Sorry,
We're all-
apologies, board, it is the third Wednesday. Board, it's actually, it's the third Wednesday.
Okay, then
Oh, well, there's a lot of Hubbardy up there.
Okay, yeah, I've got OCOC.
Okay.
So that's.
Third Wednesday?
I thought it
Third
was
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
sorry.
Yeah.
So Kathy, there will be a potential quarterly conflict for me if I.
The Wednesday, not a Thursday, though, no.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
right, so there won't be. Okay. I accept.
You know, with it being Wednesday, tentatively as the alternate, I will do it, as I see other people treading lightly towards this. And actually, we can start pushing for those things we always talk about, Gary.
Work on your part. Like a dog.
Oh, I've been working on my part for 7 years now.
Okay. So
Okay.
the alternate.
Okay,
I'll take it if they so vote that I can have it.
okay.
Anything else? Mr. Toffenelli, you good?
I'm good.
Ms.
good.
Fuldor, you're good?
Good.
Ms. Andal?
I'm good. McCallum River Association,
Are they
we
disbanding?
haven't met,
Oh.
so.
I thought I saw something where they
But
were
they're
looking at disbanding. I'm not totally sure though. Actually, that's
I
actually,
thought I saw something.
you know what? I was reading another agenda for another group
Okay.
that they were talking about it. So it wasn't,
Stay on there, just let me know if I'm missing something.
I don't think you're missing it. It's unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Hubbard,
I just wanted to say, Sierra Nevada Conservancy, I just wanted to thank Tuolumne County because theoretically they should have been the charge of this subregion this next year, but they passed it over to me. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Very excited to still stay on that board in the active role.
All right.
Congratulations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
With that, public comment? None?
No online public comment.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve as is with our 2 edits.
Second.
Be coming back.
But yeah, thank you. That will be coming back for scheduling purposes.
Okay, we have a motion by Hubbard, a second by Ms. Fullendorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Number 30, Ms. Simpson.
Item 40, action item, clerk of the Board of Supervisors, appointment of applicant to the Agricultural Advisory Committee. And so we had 2 applicants for District 4.
Ms. Fullendorf, do you have any recommendations?
I'd like to recommend to continue, Mindy as the, representative for District 4. I believe the other applicant, may go to another.
Fishing game, yes.
Yeah, fishing game.
Fishing game,
Yeah.
which was just voted on, correct?
Correct.
Yes, so.
So, I think we've got that, although I did have, never mind, it's a question offline, but yes, that would be my motion is to, reappoint Mindy.
Okay, we have a motion, but
Oh, we
I'll
need public comment.
take public comment, but it's fine, Ms. Fullendorf, you're good. Public comment? Ms. Simpson, online?
We have no online public comment.
So I believe your motion stands?
Yep.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. We'll move on to number 41.
Item 41, action item, Public Works, provide input and support for the Calaveras County Active Transportation and Recreational Trails plan to position the county for a competitive application under the California Transportation Commission Active Transportation Program Cycle 8.
Favor that all the way from Olive Orchard into Springs. I mean, that addresses what they have there. Is that to the point on the presentation that you like? I mean, the plan. Because it states each, what do we call it? Section of the 26.
Yeah.
I mean, you worry about parts of 12, but 26, all the way from Springs to all orchards.
But all Orchard Road and 26 is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My apologies, Sarah.
Morning, Board Chair. Board Supervisors, this is Michael Martin, your Public Works Director. I'm here tonight or today with this presenting the Active Transportation and Recreational Trails Plan. This is the draft version of the plan. If once the board agrees to which items that we want to move forward, then this draft plan will go to the COG and the COG board will approve so they can proceed with applying for grants as a result of this effort. So our recommendation here is to receive board input and support for the Active Transportation Plan draft. And then to also obviously position the county for competitive grant applications. So why active transportation? It's focused on human-powered travel, particularly walking, biking, and mobility devices. It builds safe, connected infrastructure and it provides the benefits of health, lower emissions, and stronger communities. There's a state commitment. The state has committed a number of Senate and Assembly bills to consolidate funding. There's $100 million available annually to the program, and it demonstrates long-term investment in active transportation at the state level. So the COG has put this plan together. They've worked with, done a lot of community outreach, public meeting, a lot of input and feedback from the community. So a lot of the recommendations that are in this plan are a result of those efforts. So this is direct community feedback and identifying the wants and needs of the community with regards to the various areas throughout the county. The full project list is available at walkandbikecalaveras.org. And if you want to see a more comprehensive view of all the projects that have been identified. This is just a quick overview map kind of showing an example of the work and effort that's gone into the plan and how comprehensive it is throughout the county. So as mentioned before, there's a grant opportunity. The deadline for this grant is June 2026. So it's important for us to receive stakeholder input and to position us for strong grant application. So these are priority projects that we've listed that we feel is the top 4 projects. But of course, this is just our staff recommendation. We wanted to have you, the board, review this and either concur or make alternative recommendations. So this is an example of Murphy's Main Street. Everyone's familiar with that area. It's obviously had a lot of attention recently with the median project. And there's a proposal here to potentially put in a shared use path on the east side of the road. And this would go from Pennsylvania Gulch or from Feeney Park to Pennsylvania Gulch and to Apple Blossom Drive. Another project here is Holcomb Dan Road from Vista del Lago Drive. This is also a shared use path on the east side of the road. And then this is a Mulcomney Hill Recreational Trail Loop. So this primarily came from a lot of community input in that area. They're interested in having some type of a walkable path as the roads throughout this area are very narrow and there's concerns about folks having to walk in the streets.
I just have to say one thing, I totally get it. They like that, but with that historical community, the houses are, within 1 foot of the property line or the street in many situations. I don't know how we're gonna get around that with planning. In quite a few instances, and I can name the parts of the road, but that's for a different time. It's a hard nut to crack.
Right.
I know the need, but at the same time, people are they want the same people that will say we need to do that for them are the same ones that are like, except for in my front yard on that street.
Right. Okay.
Could it, and I don't mean just because you have this on the map, but I guess countywide with the historic district, because this isn't gonna be the only place, this is gonna be the issue. With how our communities were built with, the sidewalks off, is what we're also looking at is maybe not just the volume of traffic, but more of the accessibility of the sidewalks and making sure that they're consistent and easily accessible. Because, I've learned a lot with pushing a stroller around. I can't get around in some of these places. And it's been a pain in the butt. And so is that maybe more of what we need to advocate for the messaging that we're trying to accomplish is more uniform in the sidewalk so we can have multiple individuals access these areas. I mean, if I'm having issues with a stroller, let's talk, and I don't want to dive into ADA, but think about somebody that's on a walker or a wheelchair, that family is not going to come to Moke Hill. They're going to go somewhere where it's accessible and they're going to be spending their dollars there. So, as we start looking maybe at the microeconomics of it, if we're trying to draw people into these areas, maybe that's more of it. It's not necessarily more bikes on the road, it's getting more people to shop in our towns. You know, there's a lot of businesses in this area. I'm just trying to look at it from a different perspective.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And accessibility is a thing. And we'll be coming up in the last item we talked about today, about accessibility and everything and some of the hurdles we have to go through with, historical at the same time. And, you know, part of our general plan is maintaining one while providing the other, which is, you know, we can't always make both work. But yeah, absolutely, it's something we need to talk about.
So I mean, that's where I look at it, is more of that, or allowing, you know, we had the outdoor dining for a long time. Like, how do we make more of these places more user friendly and improve these areas to draw our communities to keep using these spaces. So I like it from that perspective, but I know there are issues with the bikes. I mean, it's a challenge, but I think we keep forgetting that there's another improvement of it, and it's not just about bicycles all the time.
Right. Yeah, you know, the goal of the ATRTP is, you know, active transportation, recreational trails plan. So it's really focused on giving people options on how to go out and bike around in the community and go walking and hiking and things like that. So it doesn't quite take full consideration of the accessibility issues we've talked about, but it's certainly a component we look at when we try to select what we feel is the most feasible for a project, like Valley Springs Complete Streets, Murphy's Complete Streets. Those are actually, you know, fit into those categories much better. And that's why we rank those two the highest. But we did want to show kind of a representative sample of some of the other things that the community did, you know, make mention of and try to share it throughout the different districts. So that's why Mokelumne Hill and Copperopolis is on here as well. So again, this is Copperopolis. This is a recreational trail as well, and it goes through quite a bit of the area. So I won't go through each street, but you can see on the map here that they're proposing to do a trail through this community as well as a recreational option for the folks in the Copperopolis community. So this is where the board directions needed. We need to select 2 projects to put together what we call detailed fact sheets. And what these fact sheets do is they strengthen our application when we apply for a grant to do the more comprehensive design work, where we could really look at the right of way, look at the available sidewalk that's there. How can we work with this? What's really the best use of this? And so the fact sheet helps provide that information. And I've provided some examples here of what these fact sheets could look like. And we would use these in our grant applications, and it would just help better bolster our grant, position us, make it give a clear understanding as to what it is we're looking to accomplish. So that's really the objective here today, is just to pick 2 projects. We love to do fact sheets on more, but there's only enough funding for 2 of them. So we wanted to just narrow it down to those 2.
I see the priority list that was put forward by COG. And number 2, I just have to say that we've discussed it before with other projects going in. The section, and I'm gonna start in Gary Toffanelli's districts, so you know, let me know if I'm stepping on your toes at all. But the point going from Main Street, Valley Springs, or the Highway 12 26 intersection all the way to Gold Creek and on to Vista del Lago, there's, you know, if there's a pedestrian walking that area in traffic, it's dangerous. And that's a concern of mine. Also, at the same time, the bike runs that happen that go away from Buena Vista and do the loop over Party and everything, they come out Olive Orchard off from Southworth in Gary's district to Olive Orchard in my district, hit 26, head over to Baldwin, from Baldwin, Hart-Vixen to Silver Rapids and around Hogan Dam. And you know, it's awesome that these many people come into town and do these bike runs at the same time. them riding so many abreast and holding up traffic, Valley Springs gets congested very easily, and this exacerbates the problem at times when people are doing things that are actually beneficial to our community. And that's a major player in my recommendation from my perspective, and a high priority that we've been talking about for a long time. And I'm sure Mr. Toffenelli could add to it from there or tell me where I'm wrong.
Yeah, number two, that's basically been, for a long time, I thought, and people talked about for some of the people that were in here today, for the other project, talking about open space. They've been involved trying to get that project for a long time. And it basically runs along the creek, which is a Caltrans property. So, and this is, it could probably be used for that. The problems have always been funding. So I think that's a viable and a very popular. That's why it's up there, number two, the number of people that chimed in on it. So the Murphy's one, I think it's great, it's good. I'm sure there's a lot of people that moved in. Maybe they can expand the median to a walk. Sorry, Mark, I get it.
The idea of putting a sidewalk on the east side doesn't really make a lot of sense. People are trying to get into town. We're talking about pedestrians. Pedestrians are standing on the median. I have called over the holidays because I witnessed almost 2 head-ons as people are trying to make a left-hand turn into the market. The entrance into the market does not align to the entrance. I mean, the left-hand turn lane puts you in direct conflict with people who are exiting the market. I have talked to Caltrans. I know we've spoken many times about it. I just want to go on record as saying again, it doesn't work. My concern is pedestrians trying to get to the market. I have people on mobility scooters and walkers that are coming out of the Murphy's Diggins, of which there are hundreds of residents. They cross the road. Now there is no shoulder for them to ride on to get to the market. So they have to go around the other way into oncoming traffic on Big Trees Road, which is ludicrous. Again, I tried to explain this at the BPAC meeting the other day. Pedestrians that are standing on that median. So I would like to talk to you because I do think that we need to do something in Murphy's. I still feel that this median is an urbanization of rural roads. People don't want to, and the whole idea of the way that they have to get through the parking lot to then come around and go to the light in order to get back up. We want to pull in, we want to pull out. We want people easy access to the market the way that it's always been. And now that there's enough room, we need to put in a middle lane and take the median away. I know that's not the discussion here, but I also would like to advocate for Arnold. I've got a private entity that's looking at buying the meadow right now, and hopefully that will happen. But also I would like to talk to you about grants as far as connecting the 2 sides of town with a pedestrian walkway, be it a raised, like they do at Big Trees, a wooden walkway, what have you. I think it's really important. People are walking alongside the highway and there's not enough room, and especially in the wintertime. It would be wonderful to have another way of connecting that town. That's it. Thank you.
And just one thing I'll add is, this is the active transportation recreational trails plan, but it also can provide alignment with other plans that we're working to move forward with, right? So we'll like with the complete streets. So the more projects we could identify throughout a number of different plans, the more of a better case we have for getting funding for a project. So I agree, the east side of the street isn't entirely the area of need up there, but it does add to. And hopefully by having the complete streets plan, having Caltrans support, we could really put together a good, meaningful project there. So that's the intent anyway, is to just try to make these plans work for what our needs are.
Absolutely. And that's why I brought up from all of Orchard Road and all the way into Valley Springs in that scenario, because you made that clear in here. And just to say with that project, why I feel so strongly about it is you're addressing 2 districts, and I agree, well over 13,000 residents on a regular basis in that area, plus everyone that drives through.
Yeah, and I agree.
Right.
And that intersection, is scheduled for improvements, Olive Orchard 26.
Yes.
Right.
I made
It can all tie in.
Yeah, yeah. I just had a meeting on that yesterday.
I'll schedule another meeting for it after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Let's meet. So with that, if there's any questions, if the board has consensus that Valley Springs and Murphy's are the top two projects we'd like to move forward with fact sheets, then we could take that back to the COG and start moving forward in that direction.
Yes. Yes. Did you need two other alternatives?
I'm sorry?
Did you need two other alternatives, or is that what number 3 and 4 become?
So I just need two to do the fact sheets for.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to understand what you were asking, because there's 4 questions. So I didn't know if we needed another 2 off of the 4 that we just.
Yeah, so well,
Okay.
so one of the options is you could either choose the 2 that we recommended or choose a different 2.
I'm happy
So-
with this. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm happy with this. Yeah. No, thank you. And I think this is a good start. We've got a lot going on. I mean, the crowd here this morning, we're talking about open space, and I think the more we can maximize these hubs in the different communities to filter it out, to connect to these areas is gonna be the first step in many things that I think they are looking for. And really, and also solve some problems that have arisen in the last 6 months, I think will be helpful for everybody. But I don't want to, you have a lot on here. If there's other entities, like I see East Bay Mud, for me, like, the opportunities arise that are gonna happen outside of this list that we approve. And I wanna make sure that if there are those opportunities, let's just say East Bay Mud decide to expand, I wanna know about it, because I think those are also economic opportunities that this county can take advantage of to bring more recreation into the community, and maximize that value. So just because we have these 4, I don't wanna just ignore the rest of them.
Right,
If that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, all the other options will still be included in the plan.
Okay.
And they'll be memorialized in the plan as other areas of focus or need, so that this plan will be available to other entities as well to refer to say, hey, this area has been identified in the county's recreational trails plan. So we'd like to, use that information to push a project forward in Angels Camp or somewhere else, right? So it certainly is there as a resource for many other projects, not just the ones we recommended here today.
And just also a shout out to the COG. I know that they had multiple community meetings and there was a lot of input, a lot of partners from this list that attended those meetings and really participated in this draft plan. So I've been very happy with the public input of what we've seen today. I think and they extended that public outreach too. So I think we really got a robust feedback from the community and the diverse from the community as well. So I just wanted to thank the staff on that end for putting this together.
Ms. Sandal, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of echo what you were saying, Supervisor Stopper, that the McCulmy Hill project, I think, we need a lot more looking at, and with it being a designated historic district. I walked it actually yesterday and it's very historic. And I also talked to some community members last night at the Safety Action Plan meeting that feel like that needs a little more work. And looking at the master list that COG has put together, throughout District 2, in my mind, there's a need for more of that connectivity of areas such as like in Arnold, like bridging the elementary school in McCulmy Hill to the rest of the community so people are safely biking and walking along highways. Same in West Point, there's areas that are disconnected where it's not safe to travel. So, in McCulmy Hill, I used to push my stroller through McCulmy Hill and it is hard. But there's just, gosh, the room. It's like a mini San Francisco. The houses are on the streets. So,
Yes, and it's not McCalmy Hill, it's McCalmy Hills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate the list and also to echo Supervisor Follendorf, what COG has done. There's a lot of projects that I think, it's great they're on there for potential future funding.
Great.
And I support Valley Springs. I have family down there and it is treacherous trying to get from the center of Valley Springs out to La Quintana. That's dangerous.
I worry for my daughter when she starts driving here very soon.
Right.
Oh, actually, I worry for everyone else.
Yeah.
Pedestrians should watch out. But on them, yeah, absolutely. I see the need in McCalmy Hill, so I'm not trying to talk that down. I just
Yeah.
trying to wrap your head around how to make that work, Micah. That's why
Yeah.
we hired you.
No, I understand. And feasibility is a major factor in that, right? So if we know we've got a lot of right-of-way challenges, that's usually the first thing that becomes a major hurdle. So understood.
Mr. Hubbardy, did you have something further?
No, no, thank you.
Yes, no,
I'll
maybe?
check in with Mike after the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Any comment?
We have no online. public.
Nothing online?
No.
Oh, Stacy, thank you. I'll bring it back to the board and barring any further public comment, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
What's the motion?
Move.
What,
Yeah, with those,
with those two?
yeah, with those two, with the
Staff's
alternative.
recommendation.
Yeah, I'll move staff recommendation. So with those two and the alternates, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
By
Thank you.
vote of board. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate your time.
Are they coming up here? Name's Micah.
Also talking with Scott on our earlier version that we can't see those on our side. So, okay. So from now on, we can please put that in. Right, thank you. Thank you. Much. Yes, Ms. Simpson, if you will.
Item 42, action item, administrative office. 1, receive and discuss information regarding the condition, limitations, and long-term challenges of the current county archives facility. And 2, provide direction on whether staff should explore potential alternative facilities that may better meet the county's long-term archives needs.
Jamie, let's hear it.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Jamie Andriola, Deputy CEO. This item is intended to provide you with an overview of the condition and limitations of the county's current archives facility and to seek your direction on whether staff should explore potential alternative facilities that may better meet the county's long-term needs. No financing action is being requested today. This is strictly a policy level discussion to determine whether it's appropriate for staff to move forward with evaluating options. The county archives is currently located at 46 Main Street in San Andreas. While this building has served the county for many years, it presents significant and ongoing challenges relating to building condition, accessibility, public service functionality, parking, and overall space. The purpose of today's item is to step back and ask a broader question. Is continued investment in this facility the most prudent long-term approach, or should the county explore facilities that are better suited for archival use moving forward? A recent comprehensive building assessment prepared by Lionakis identified extensive short and long-term repair needs, approximately $340,000. These costs include water intrusion, masonry, and I knew I was going to mess this word up. Deterioration, drainage issues, and interior and structural concerns. Importantly, this estimate does not include any unforeseen conditions that are likely given the age and historic nature of the building. As the board is aware, projects involving older facilities often carry additional risk once work begins. Beyond the cost of repairs, there is fundamental deficiencies that would remain even if those investments were made. The building is not ADA compliant, and retrofitting it to meet current accessibility standards would be complex and potentially cost prohibitive due to the building's configuration and historical construction. Additionally, the archive serves the public and requires appropriate hand washing facilities prior to handling any archival material. The current facility lacks ADA accessible restrooms and adequate hand washing infrastructure. Addressing these issues would require significant plumbing and structural modifications through concrete and masonry walls. The Main Street location also contributes to parking demand in an already constrained downtown area. This impacts both the public access and staff operations and presents ongoing challenges for visitors attempting to access archives. Approximately 3,025 square feet, the existing facility is undersized for modern archival operations. It does not adequately support archival storage standards, staff workspace, research area, or future growth. The limited footprint restricts the county's ability to expand services or plan for long-term archival needs, or even if repairs are completed. When viewed collectively, continued investment in the existing facility would likely result in substantial expenditures without fully resolving core issues related to accessibility, functionality, and capacity. From a long-term planning and fiscal perspective, staff believes it is appropriate to consider whether there may be alternate facilities that better support archival preservation standards, public access, operational efficiency, and long-term sustainability. Today, staff is asking for board direction on whether staff should explore potential alternative facilities that may better meet the county's long-term archives needs, and if so, to return at a later date with options for your consideration. With that, staff is available to answer questions and receive the board's direction.
I'm willing to hear it, Mr. Toffanelli. I mean, you brought this up many, many times on things that need to be done. You have the best knowledge, I think, of all of us, with maybe Hubbardy catching up a little bit. So, Mr. Hubbard, you have your light on it. Mr. Toffanelli.
Let Mr. Toffanelli go first.
I will.
That's fine. Go ahead. I just was asking a couple silly questions. How many people go into the archives? Do we have an idea on it?
I'm going to invite Rebecca Turner up because she'll speak to the operations of ours.
There are some regular.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rebecca Turner, County Clerk Recorder. It varies. At this time, we're only open 2 days a week unless somebody makes an appointment outside of that schedule. It varies from none to like 10 in a given day. So on days when I'm down there trying to help her complete a project, some days it's like, wow, how do you get anything done? Because there's people coming in and out. Sometimes schedule appointments and sometimes just coming in. So I would say on average, maybe 15 people a week.
Okay, thank you. And I mean, my concern is it is the oldest building in San Andreas. And our archives are so incredibly important because so many counties in the past have thrown out their originals and microfiched everything. And now the microfiches are out of date and those don't work. We need to hang on to, these are our jewels that is so important. And my concern is if it moves out of that building, I mean, we just spent $350 on a bathroom. To me, it's totally worth making sure that that building is maintained and that it survives, regardless of whether the archives stay there or not. So
the reason many of our archival records are even there is because departments in between the 70s and the 90s did just toss them, and the archives found them by dumpsters and collected them back because they went to film, and we're like, oh, paper's no longer necessary. We now have film. It'll last forever. Well, film will not last forever. And now we're finding aging and other issues. And so really, when we go back to even electronic, we want to make our records digital. We're going back to the paper images because they're far better than the film images as well.
It's a very sensitive and emotional decision for me. And I would love the opportunity to see where they could go, but also not losing that sense of, I mean, walking into that building, you feel the history and you're looking at it, and it's just a rich experience. So I'll hand it over to Supervisor Toffanelli.
I agree. I love the building. If I could just make my office down there, I totally would. The problem is more recent. I know, I just moved in. Recently, we've even found molded books, and it's like, we need to do something with a lot of these records. And we're at a loss because even if we treat them, we're putting them back in a building that does not keep proper temperature and humidity for long-term records. And so my concern is I do need to preserve these records forever. And I'm not sure that we can continue doing it in that space unless we like seriously put some work into it. And my fear is this project of fixing the building has been going on as long as archives has been in my under my umbrella.
Since prior.
And we're still in the same boat. We still haven't done anything and I still have records down there deteriorating.
Thank you. Do you have any idea of where you would go?
At this time, it's really just scoping out and following the advice of admin.
Thank you.
Well, the building itself is an archive, so we must preserve it just for the history of Calaveras County. And I thought about this several times. Thought about the old grand jury room that's there, tearing it down and maybe getting a grant, build another building which is directly behind that and it could access into it, which we could expand into and maybe keep the temperatures and everything right. And it would still preserve the front of the building. But we have that in the back and there is some parking space there. And again, the park is there, and the parking there, versus not being parked right on the street. But that new building, we could have, the access from that, where that parking lot where the grand jury room, it used to be the old grand jury room, and construct off of that going up, whether it's a 1-story, 2-story or whatever. And then that would, whatever our needs are, and that would preserve what we have in front with the old archive building and new. But I think we need to have some money to do engineering on the building and design and engineering on it before we can go out for an RFP and maybe get some grant money for or whatever, but it preserves it in the same spot almost as what we have right now. And then once we get things out of if we get the building built and get things out of the archive building, we can go in and do some repairs or whatever we need to do. One of the problems we have that could anytime the roof on that thing, I know we replaced it, but if it leaks, we could be destroying a lot of the archives that we have in there. So
Storm, the roof was fine, but
But-
we found the water seeped up through the floor.
For the floors, yeah.
yeah, the roof is fine.
Where's this water even coming from? And it's like, it
There's-
seriously is just seeping out from underneath.
There's old wells right on Main Street.
But we've replaced that roof a number of times. I'm just saying if something happens to it, it would leak. But, and you don't know if it's running down the walls to fill up, we don't know. But that's my thoughts on it and what the possibility could be to where to move. Otherwise, you have to move all this stuff. And I don't know of any buildings. There's so many people looking for buildings right now. But at least it would keep it in the same area and the same almost, that archive building, and it'd be part of it still. So those are what I have to say.
I love that idea. That's a great idea.
Oh, Ms. Follendorf, did you want to follow that? If you're done, Mr. Toffenay.
I was gonna echo Martin, and I agree with both Gay and Martin. I just read an article in the San Francisco News about all of the outdated buildings that are just sitting there in the city, and they're old historic because no one wants to put that investment in to preserve these buildings. We have a history that's our legacy. It's one of our, as Martin said, it's just outside of the archive, but these buildings that we have in our community are jewels. And so we have to make that commitment to continue to invest in them and in turn invest in these archives. So I'm in favor of exploring all. I don't know, you talked about the humidity. Is there a short term where we could find funding to maybe create a humidity room in this construction project that Gary is discussing, or a boat or something? I don't know how that works for some, I don't know how many items need to be in a temperature control, but do we isolate?
All of them.
I mean, I get that it all needs to, but is there a short term, because we know, we can all agree this is gonna take a while, but is there a short term where where there's a section that just we need to focus on to keep them from deteriorating, and loosening, I'm open for all of it. I'm open for, and then there's that building today's mega plan here.
So Rebecca's right. So there was some water intrusion from the floor in the last storm. We do have our units to monitor humidity, and currently we have the humidity under control. But what Rebecca didn't share is, so we don't know when the mold happened on the books or the facts that we have. But she has to isolate those items. She has to take them away so they don't contaminate anything.
Yes.
And there's nowhere else to take them. We were very creative and worked with facilities to move a lot that were in a lower basement area to some very strategic places throughout the county, but that's not ideal. So the footprint of the archives isn't great. And then again, kind of what sparked this conversation, we already knew space was a hard place. We already knew we're doing some investment over the next couple of years with the structural issues that were identified in Lionacus, but it's the growth as well. And then the ADA accessibility. Public can't come. There's certain facts that can't be touched with gloves. I've learned so much about archives in the last couple months. Things that can't be touched with gloves, so people have to actually wash their hands, and we can't allow people into our restrooms because they're not ADA compliant. And with the history of the building, and if you guys are familiar, there's real no way to make those bathrooms ADA compliant with the masonry of the walls, without almost a whole new retrofit of the entire historical building, which comes with so it's not that the building's not great or that we don't want to preserve it or use it for other functions, but it might not serve great for archives. And so that's the conversation that we want to have, not that the building's not beneficial or worth keeping or investing in. It just might not be the best purpose for what it's serving right now.
If I may follow up on that, are you done?
No,
Okay, go ahead. I'll stop. I'll wait. I was gonna say, like, everything that you just said, everything that every supervisor here has brought up was like turning over my head. At the same time, the hard realist part of me is how many capital projects do we have going through? What's our money looking like? And Gary brings up like the grants and everything, because he knows as well as any one of us that, if we're gonna move forward with something like this, we're gonna have to find another pot of gold. And those rainbows aren't showing up too much on my front doorstep recently. So with that said, I started thinking about like, well, we own the building, and what other buildings do we own without having to go out for another lease that ends up costing us more than buying a building? So I think about the Hubbardie building, and I don't know if this is an option or not, because it's right there. So we could have them both at the same time. But the Hubbardie building, and I'm not talking about the upper section of it. I'm not sure what the basement looks like inside right now for environment, which could be an issue, so I could be wrong. But it's full of every department's desks and everything else that, that someone stashed in it, or may have been cleaned up multiple times, Teresa, because I know it's been one to get cleaned up once and then it was refilled. And then I think you went back after you got here and.
Sure, yeah, it was jammed, and when I was there with the chamber, we cleared it out once completely.
Right, no, I had gotten the phone call when I was chair last time.
Yeah.
And we went through this process, and I believe I got the phone call not too long ago while you were here. And they reached out to you also again, and there was some work done by maintenance on it also. But here's what my thought process is on that. Because that stuff can be moved or put into Rock Creek if it needs to be, or processed out which way is legal. But that's a whole nother section within an area, and the old parking lot that's behind there is at the same level without the sidewalk there. And the accessibility thing can be addressed for a section. So could we have something that works in both areas at the same time? Get an area inside the Hubbardie building that's in the basement, because right now it's not being used. being used as storage, but it doesn't have people down there. So we have a moment to be able to not spend a lot of money in an area that's open to get it to the environment that we need. I don't think it would cost as much for a single area. And then we could do the juggle between both places and have an accessible place at the same time. Because I was trying to wrap my head around this so many which ways, and we're discussing all the things that came across my mind. And this is like right there. So both. And we own both buildings. I don't know. Sorry, Amanda, I really threw you
No,
off.
Martin had his light on before me.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say to your last comment, Jamie, I am open to everything. I hear what you're saying. I think that if the archives are gonna grow, then what does that look like? What does that growth scenario look like? But we do have, I know this is up for discussion. We all know we've got financial issues, but I am open to those options being explored. So if you're looking for direction from board, I am all hands on deck on what you need to do to explore what the best path forward is. In the meantime, I'm also considering if we do need to make that initial investment, because it's gonna take a while to preserve those specific specialized archives. What does that look like? Do we need to give you guys, I say a vault, but whatever the heck it is that people do. I mean, I know we're not going to the Smithsonian and it's all, or the Library of Congress, but what do we need to do to at least help control what we have, protect it now in this moment till we have a long-term game plan? So I'm open to both. Like if we've got to do a phase 1 and then the big one is a phase 2, or step 1 and step 2, whatever that's called.
The same thought. That's why I was going down the other thing. Where can we throw a Band-Aid for a second so we can get through, stem the flow until we can properly suture the wound and make it right in the future.
It sounds like a great project for strategic planning.
A last note, a very minor note, I would love to fix the plaque out in front. It was not Joseph Hubbardy in 1858, it was John Hubbardy. And I don't know who I would speak to do that, but I would love to get that done. I'll take care of it personally.
We will search who
Thank you.
is in charge of them.
Thank you.
On that.
Thank you.
Mr. Toffenelli.
I just, it's not a bad idea what you're saying. I don't know if that basement over there has ever flooded.
It is lower.
Historic wise at the Hubbardy building, if we put all kinds of records in there, if something happens, we're gonna lose them all. So I don't know. It is a basement, which you're saying the one that we have now is flooded.
Right.
So
Yeah, we're about the same
but now
elevation in the same area.
the other thing is, I don't know if you would move completely over there because you're working only 2 days a week, and you move them all over there. Then otherwise you'd have, well, those are in the other building, and they gotta lock the building, take the person over to the other building and try and find them downstairs. I mean, these are things that we have to consider on you, because you only have the one employee that works there 2 days a week. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's just some of this needs to be worked out on how to do it while we're trying to maintain the archives, and then what we're gonna do with the building itself, and either construct one behind or whatever. But just some thoughts on it.
Or maybe at the isolation room.
That's what I'm.
In the museum, there is a vault, a bank vault that actually has religious artifacts in it at the moment, that maybe that could be switched out and we actually put them in a bank vault.
That's an easy environment to maintain, but at the same time, where do the religious artifacts go?
Your house.
So Chairman,
Don't do that to me.
Your house in the.
I don't need that.
Chairman Stomper,
Yes, ma'am.
So I just wanted to point out that Ms. Turner had brought this forward to us because of her concern about properly maintaining these records. And the current facility obviously has some issues, and there is a potential to lose some of these very special historical records of the county. That's why we wanted the opportunity to bring this to the board and to discuss if you're willing for us to move forward with looking at different options that may better preserve the records that I know everybody here wants to preserve. So that's really what this is just giving us permission to spend staff time, because this is going to be a pretty heavy lift. As you've mentioned, there's a number of options. There's a number of different ways that we may accomplish this. But we wanted to make sure that you knew that staff was spending some pretty hefty time on this project, but we do believe it's valuable. So that's the direction we're seeking from the board.
That seems pretty straightforward. With, the consideration is, we all have our suggestions. And then staff's gonna take those suggestions and look at what those options and what's viable. And do we want to give that direction? So real quick, before we finish this conversation, I want to give an opportunity for public comment. Online?
We have no online public comment.
None on at this time, so I'll bring it back to the board. Mr. Toffin, do you have an idea how we want to sum this up for a motion? Like give them direction to see what our options are that are viable?
It's an action item.
Yeah, because we're giving them directions, so
Well, we've had a number of suggestions.
But
So I would say, and I would think you would research the suggestions and then bring back viable suggestions to us out of all what we said. So I would move that the staff go forward with what we gave a direction to, and then bring back to us the viable ones that could be used going forward.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 vote of the board. Carry the torch. All right. With that, I'll go ahead and say this one. Supervisor announcements. Martin, you started with me.
Thank you. I know, that's a payback.
And you know what?
Payback.
No, it's not a see how you felt. Mr. Toffanelli?
I had great holidays. It was a long time since December 9th, our last meeting, but it was enjoyable, and I got a world's best grandpa cup out of it. So other than that, that's all I have.
Ms. Follendorf.
We didn't talk about it because it's not on our list of committee assignments. But I got on this committee by way of the COG.
So it's one of their committees.
Yeah.
She's going.
So, it is the District 10, Caltrans District 10 BPAC Committee. There are 2 seats for Calaveras County. The second seat for Calaveras County was vacated this past week. And so I just wanted to extend, if any of my board members are interested in sitting on that committee. They meet quarterly. Yeah, we meet quarterly. Our next meeting isn't until April. It is via Zoom or WebEx. But if there's any interest, I'm gonna bring it up at the COG meeting as well to see if there's any interest. I do have to warn you that it's not what you think it is. So if you are considering it, maybe talk to myself and Micah offline about this committee, but where we hope to go is not always the direction we go. But I just I don't know. The other question I have for this board is, do you want it on the supervisor committee list assignment so you know what we are doing? It's not an elected position. Most of the other counties, other than Alpine County, all have community members that are on the board and represent or staff. So it's not like it has to be an elected, but again, just letting you know, talk to me offline about it and Micah.
Miss
Yeah.
Fullendorf, Sarah, can we bring this back for a discussion?
Sure, I mean.
And then I'll give you a call for Micah and everything if on the other end.
If you provide staff with details of exactly what we're bringing back for discussion.
Yes.
right,
I'll
we'd be
do
happy
that.
to-
I didn't want her to get too far into the discussion prior.
I mean,
to that.
certainly to the extent there's gonna be a board discussion or any possible,
Yes, and I just want to be transparent that this board knows what committee I'm sitting on, representing the county, so it was
Yeah.
also about transparency, that's why I wanted the details. So anyway, the other thing is I am just worried about, as we start talking about revenue, and I'm sure it's gonna come up later this afternoon and possibly tomorrow, but I am concerned about federal funds in the state of what we are going to be. So I didn't know if staff game plan was discussed during the next couple days. If not, just sooner before we get to mid-year budget, what are our hits gonna be with the spending getting removed from the feds or not coming in a timely manner? I know that some of our community members have already posted on social media about funding impacting services such as childcare. So I just wanna make sure that we're on the forefront and we're better planning and not react. I know we're gonna have to react, but we have more game plan options to react to some of that stuff happening. And then next week I will be at OCLC. We have a board meeting, and that's all I have.
Thank you for that. Good points. On December 10th, I attended the Habitat for Humanity open house at Eureka Oaks with other supervisors. On December 21st, I attended the Blue Mountain Players. It's a wonderful live production in West Point. And last night, January 12th, I attended the Public Works Comprehensive Safety Action Plan meeting in McCollum Hill. Was very grateful. A lot of the public came out and the consultants took the time to explain everything. And future meetings in every district is on their website.
Super.
Thank you, Ms. Andal. Mr. Hubbard.
Thank you. Supervisor Fullendorf, you are the consummate diplomat. On December 10th, I also attended the Habitat for Humanity groundbreaking, which Supervisor Toffanelli spoke at. The 11th, I attended the Sierra Nevada Conservancy Board meeting in Sacramento. On the 15th, I attended the CMCAA Calaveras Mariposa Community Action Agency meeting with Supervisor Andal. On the 17th, Douglas Flat Schoolhouse was lowered again. So I just, again, put a shout out to that group that raised the schoolhouse and fixed the foundation and has put it back down, which is brilliant. On the 18th, I did an interview with BJ Hansen at KVML. On the 19th, I judged the Christmas spirit decoration contest here at the county, which was amazing. The 20th, a shout out to Bret Hart and the holiday showcase. It was amazing. So much talent in this community. And on the 7th, I attempted to attend the BPAC meeting. That was it.
Mr. Hubbardy, it's a hard one to follow. Busy man. First recommendation. Ms. Andal, I'm experienced and I've known her for a long time. I wouldn't necessarily say she's the ultimate diplomat, but she's doing very well. Oh, okay. Well, I just want to make that clear. But thank you for moving me as chair. Ms. Fullendorf brought up, the federal money in the future. We're about to hit some more rocky times. And I think last time, she was vice chair underneath me, we definitely were traversing and moving through some rocky times. So we got our work cut out for us. And, it's time for me to step up and my feet be solidly on the ground everything, and I'm gonna be, you know, you're gonna have to share your office with me, Miss Handel, because I'm gonna be here a lot more. I know I have a key. I never give that away. I won't give it away. That said, I'm not kicking you out, but you're sharing. Okay? Appreciate it. And then was voted in chair my low job training agency yesterday. And I have to say, our meeting this Thursday for Central Sierra Economic Development District meeting will be putting forward some more strategies and everything moving forward over the next so many years. And that there's, even with the current state of everything, politics, budgets, everything else, I'm still cautiously optimistic on a lot of good things happening from there. And the transition's been long coming. Gary was here when we went from one model of an economic development district because of reasons back then, and we've been slowly building it. Now we actually have a working budget that the counties don't supply 100% of by any means. And so we're in a good spot. I'm actually excited about that one. With that, do you want to say something else, sir?
I was just gonna say, what this federal dollar thing, either, I don't know if it's gonna be today or tomorrow, but I think Marcos is gonna bring up a lot of what is gonna be the most impact on the county in his department. It's gonna be pretty big. So been willing to hear from him coming up.
Yes. Miss Edwards.
Yep.
Anything you like to say?
No.
All right. Wise words from council. Ms. Hitchcock.
Just that I look forward to seeing all of you in strategic planning over the next couple of days, and hopefully we can have some really good projects coming out of that.
Miss Simpson,
Nope, nothing to share.
my new boss. Susan?
Love your contest. You got 3 more weeks and we got some fabulous prizes this year.
Excellent. And silently, Holly? No? All right. Thank you. Well,